In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on September 25th, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Saints versus Carolina Panthers. The New Orleans Saints hit the road for their second straight NFC South battle as they take on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina on Sunday afternoon. The New Orleans Saints come into this matchup at 1-1 on the season following Sunday's fight-filled loss to the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Panthers have started the season 0-2, and head coach Matt Rule knows that job security could be on the line if his team doesn't start putting together wins. We have an NFC South rivalry battle here as the Carolina Panthers host the New Orleans Saints. Carolina is still looking for its first win of the year and has a good shot of getting it as a home underdog. The Saints shouldn't be a road favorite over just about anybody right now. They looked terrible for most of their Week 1 matchup with the Falcons, as Jameis Winston barely cracked 50 yards through 3 quarters before they mounted a furious late comeback. Then they got absolutely smoked by a short-handed Bucs team in Week 2. Winston is reportedly playing through a serious back injury, and it shows. The Panthers are winless but could just as easily be 2-0, as they lost each of their first 2 games due to late, very long field goals. Baker Mayfield hasn't been great by any stretch of the imagination, but I'd take him over an injured Winston, and he's certainly an upgrade over what the Panthers had under center last year. This is the team's last stand, and their defense should be swarming in front of their home crowd against a division rival. Winston took 6 sacks last week after taking 4 against a less than stellar Falcons pass rush. Simply put, the Panthers are better than their 0-2 record indicates, and the Saints may be a bit worse than their 1-1 record indicates. Carolina's talented young edge rushers should be able to get home, so the Carolina Panthers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. This is a super low number for such an early season game played in excellent conditions with 2 teams that need to produce offensively this week. The Saints are 5-1 to the over in their last 6 games on grass. The Panthers are 6-1 to the over in their last 6 games on grass. Rule will expand his playbook this week and find ways to get DJ Moore and McCaffrey the ball in space and allow Mayfield to feel comfortable in the pocket. One thing to keep in mind, despite their overall modest numbers, the Panthers are 6th in yards per catch this season thanks to their speedy stable of receivers. That number will grow when McCaffrey starts gaining a level of comfort with Mayfield. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Texans versus Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears play host to the Houston Texans on Sunday afternoon from Soldier Field in an interesting Week 2 matchup. Both of these teams shocked many in Week 1, with the Bears grabbing the win against the 49ers and the Texans tying the Colts. Both came back to reality last week, as both grabbed losses, putting an added emphasis on righting the ship this week. The 2 teams last played in 2020, with Chicago coming away with a dominant 36-7 win. There's no doubt they'll be looking to replicate that success, though the Texans aren't going to make it easy for them. Houston is 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games overall and 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 Week 3 matchups, while the under is 7-1 in their last 8 games following an against the spread win. Chicago is 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 games overall and 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 home games, while the under is 21-7 in their last 28 home games. Can the Chicago Bears bounce back from a tough defeat on Sunday Night Football, or will Davis Mills and the Houston Texans pick up their first win of the season? Houston has been a big underdog in the first 2 games, but the Texans tied with the Colts in their first game before nearly pulling off a road upset of the Broncos in their second. In each matchup, the Texans were winning most of the way. The Bears beat the 49ers back in Week 1, but that had fluke written all over it. The game was played in horrible weather conditions and the field was like a slip and slide. After 2 games, Bears QB Justin Fields still hasn't thrown for 200 total yards. That tells you everything you need to know about the state of Luke Getsy's offense. Last week against the Packers, Getsy's unit went multiple quarters without getting a first down. Houston's defense has quietly been playing pretty well, holding Russell Wilson to only 219 yards while sacking him 3 times last week. Fields will be by far the worst quarterback they've played this season. Aaron Jones was running all over Chicago's defense last week, so I'd expect rookie running back Dameon Pierce to have some success in this one. The Houston Texans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. The Bears know that controlling the game on the ground will be key in this one, and they'll want to keep the Texans off the field in anticipation. Houston has a fast-paced group themselves, and while they will put up points, it's likely that the Bears limit them in some capacity. With the ability to control the clock being key, expect the Texans to also try to focus slightly more on running the ball. In the end, Houston only put up 9 points last week, allowing only 16 as well, while Chicago has been known for low-scoring games themselves over the last few seasons. Additionally, the under is 7-1 for Houston in their last 8 road games and in their last 8 games following an against the spread win. With the Bears, the under is also 4-0 in their last 4 games in September. I get that this is a low total, but I truthfully don't think there's any way that you could put it low enough. These are 2 of the worst offensive units in the NFL this season, and they're also 2 teams I want no part in having to trust to put points on the board. It's way more likely that this is one of those ugly snooze-fest kinds of games. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Kansas City Chiefs versus Indianapolis Colts. A pair of AFC teams that entered the season with high expectations clash on the gridiron in the Hoosier State. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the road as they make the trip to face the Indianapolis Colts Sunday afternoon. Kansas City comes in off a 27-24 win over the Chargers on Thursday Night Football in their Week 2 matchup to remain unbeaten. Indianapolis looked absolutely dismal as they followed up a 20-20 tie with Houston in their season opener by getting blanked 24-0 by Jacksonville on the road last Sunday in their Week 2 tilt. In the all-time regular season series between the teams, the Colts own a 13-9 advantage, including a 19-13 road victory in the most recent matchup on October 6, 2019. This is one of those games where you just can't overthink it and bet on the better team. It does not always work out this way, but these teams are at 2 completely different points of their seasons. I get that the Colts are home and desperately need a win, but I thought that last week against the Jaguars after nearly losing to the Texans and coming away with a gross tie, the Chiefs' offense is so good and they look unstoppable already. Mahomes is spreading the ball around and the run game is as good as it's been in years. The defense was able to shut down the Chargers for the most part and the Cardinals in Week 1. Both of those teams are light years ahead of the Colts in offensive talent, so I can't see how this Colts team will be able to move the ball. They rely on Jonathan Taylor, but no one is scared of Matt Ryan at this stage. Teams will continue to load up the box and force Matt Ryan to beat them. The Colts receiving core is a mess and nearly all of them are injured. The Colts offensive line has not been able to handle any sort of pressure, and I'd imagine the Chiefs will frequently send players at Ryan. The Chiefs should have no problem winning this game by double digits, so the Kansas City Chiefs to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Kansas City comes into this game having split their first 2 games in relation to the total on the season. The Chiefs combined for 65 points in their win against the Cardinals in the opener before totaling 51 in the game with the Chargers. In those games, the totals were set at 54 points in the game against the Cardinals and 53 points for the contest with Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Indianapolis has stayed under the total in both their games as they had a combined 40 points in the game with Houston and 24 points in the contest with the Jaguars. The Colts saw totals of 45.5 points in the game with the Texans and 44 points in the Jacksonville contest. With the Colts looking anemic offensively, you'd have to think the Chiefs might need 35 to 38 points to push this over the mark. I don't see them getting there, and as a result, look for this total to end up short of the number. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.